The beginning of the film, we see a couple who are in the park. Both of them are celebrating Valentine's Day. During this time, someone was also taking their photo with a camera. But the boy proposes to the girl, and the girl also happily says yes to him for marriage. Then the boy gets a call, which was from that cameraman. Actually, they had hired that cameraman so that he could take photos of these moments. He says that the photo did not come out well, so they should do it all again. The boy gets a little angry at him. But then both of them start recreating those moments again, and the cameraman started recording all this. But then a killer comes there. He inserts the chalk directly into the lens, which goes through the cameraman's eye and comes out from the back of his head, and he dies on the spot. He calls the boy from Posse's phone. They thought that it was the cameraman, so the girl gets fed up with him and takes the phone and starts talking to him. But she hears the recorded message of the cameraman. Now when the girl turns, an arrow hits her friend's head and he is also killed. The girl screams loudly. Then she is also attacked again. She runs to save her life. But the attacks are still happening on her, and now she hides behind the car. But then suddenly everything becomes quiet. She starts thinking who he was and where has he gone. But the killer has not gone anywhere. He was coming towards her, and she starts getting attacked again. The girl runs away from there too, but falls on the way, and the killer reaches her. The killer attacks her crosswise, and the arrow pierces the girl's leg, and she screams. Despite being injured, she somehow runs away from there limping and goes to a factory. It was a winery where wine is made. There was also a guard here. The girl asks for help from the guard that the killer is after me. Please save me. Then the killer also reaches there. Then the guard takes out his gun to stop him. Seeing this, the killer takes out a knife from his pocket, on which a heart-shaped mole was made. Before the guard could shoot, he stabs him in the face, killing the guard too, and then he takes out a big knife to kill the girl. Seeing this, the girl again started running and hid under a machine. The killer was searching for her outside. Soon the killer finds out where she was hiding. He puts his hand in the window of the machine and grabs her by the throat. But the girl uses force to free her throat and closes the window. The killer's hands started getting pressed, so he had to take his hand out. Then the killer realized that the machine in which the girl was hiding grinds grapes and makes wine. Then he goes straight and turns on the machine. The girl sees that a part of the machine is moving towards her to grind her. She starts screaming loudly, and the killer was enjoying it. In no time, the machine reaches very close to the girl, and on pressing it, it breaks her into pieces, and then her blood comes out of the machine like wine. In binary, the killer makes a heart shape with flowers and leaves a hunter's heart in the middle of it, which was the mark of this killer, and its name is Heart Eyes because the mask he was wearing had heart-shaped eyes on it. That is why the name of this movie is also Heart Ice. After this incident, it spreads in the entire media that on the occasion of Valentine's Day, the Heart Ice killer has returned again. He targets couples by selecting them. But if someone comes in his way, he will not spare them either. This killer has appeared only 2 years ago, and since then, Toffee has made couples his prey. It is active only on Valentine's Day. That is why the media requests all the girls to give up the idea of celebrating Valentine's Day. Do not make relations with anyone, do not go to meet them. Stay at home. Otherwise, the Heart Eyes killer will come. Some boys and girls accept this, but there were some people who said that we should not be afraid. After this, we see the main character of the story, whose name is Ellie. Ellie's relationship with her friend had broken, and now he had formed a relationship with someone else, but Ellie did not. She is still single because even today she remembers her friend. Ellie's friend understands by looking at her face that she is sad in the memory of her friend. But Ellie diverts the topic by saying that today she has to show her ad in the office. That's why I am just a little nervous, and there is nothing like that. Actually, both of them work in a jewelry company. Yes, Ellie is the lead designer. She is given the task of making an ad whose theme is love. But Ellie is heartbroken. So how can she work properly on the theme of love? She makes an ad in which the relationship breaks up and the boy is killed. Obviously, no one likes that. The boss also gets very angry at her. She says, "Ellie, I trusted you." But Ellie wasted her time. So to fix all this, the boss calls a freelancer who recently made a great ad on the theme of love, and it also went viral. Ellie gets scared after seeing him that he might take away her job. But Jay says that he will work with Ellie on this ad, and now both of them are a team. On the other hand, we see the detective and the female officer. They go to investigate the crime scene at the winery. There they find a blood-soaked ring which does not seem to belong to the victim hunter. They think that it might belong to the killer on which JS was written, and now these people keep it with them as evidence. Jay tells Ellie that tonight you come with me for dinner at a lovely place where couples come, that is, it is a place for lovers. This dinner will be only for advertisement. Who knows, they might get a good idea. He says that this is a kind of date where we are going for a walk. We are meeting, but only to the extent of work. Ellie says, but today is Valentine's Day. This too because he was single, so he did not notice. He says, oh yes, then you must have some plan today with your partner. Ellie tells that she does not have any plan because he is single. Jay says then this is the best time, so this is the best opportunity to go. But Ellie was a little worried. She says that I am not in the mood. I don't feel like it. We will keep the dinner for tomorrow. Jay says that I will not be able to go tomorrow. It is my friend's wedding. So now Ellie had no other way. So finally she agrees. When Elle reaches the hotel, there too the security was checking because the fear of hard ice killer was spread everywhere. When she is being checked, the metal detector starts ringing. When the guards search her, a metal straw comes out. Straws which are used to drink juice, etc. Ellie says that I don't like paper straws at all. They look weird. That's why I always keep my metal straw with me, which is completely clean. After which she goes and sits on the table. Meanwhile, Jay also comes there. The waiter says on seeing her that it seems, madam, your date has come. Ellie immediately says that hey, he is not my date. He is in the office and we are just working. Then Jay comes and sits with her and orders drinks for both of them. Then Ellie shares some of her ideas with him. But he was looking at Ellie carefully. Maybe he is more interested in Eli than work. He asks her in between, why do I feel that your heart is broken? Eli says there is nothing like that and you should stay away from these things. Jay says I just asked because I felt it after seeing your ad. But Eli starts telling him off that who you to judge me are. If you know so much about love, then why are you still single? Yes, understand this girl's heart is filled with hatred. He says first you calm your mind, only then we will be able to work, and angrily goes out from there. So Eli realizes that I have said too much. Coming out, she says sorry to Jay that don't worry, I am fine and please help me in this ad or else I will lose my job. Then Eli sees that her ex is coming there with his friend. So to tease him, she hugs Jay and tells him that Jay is her friend. Now Jay was very smart and immediately understands that Eli is doing all this to make her ex jealous. He supports her and introduces himself as Eli's friend. But both of them did not know that the hard ice killer had seen them hugging. He thinks of them as a real couple and now his next target is both of them, after which Jay goes to drop Eli to her house, but he notices that Eli has probably lost the keys of her house. He thinks of helping her, but he just thinks and does nothing. Now the taxi driver notices this and encourages him and says, go son, help her and tell her what is in your heart. Then Jay comes to Eli. Asks what is the problem? Ari says that actually I have lost my keys. But it does not matter, I will break the window glass and enter inside. My landlord will not say anything to me. But Jay says you leave it, don't get hurt. I know something. I will do this easily without hurting anyone. Then Jay punches her. He hits Jay but he gets hurt. Elle realizes that all this has happened because of me. That is why she takes Jay inside with her. She removes the glass pieces from his hand and applies bandage and tells him that she was a medical student earlier. But then she left her studies. Then suddenly Elle remembers that she forgot to keep some of her things from the table in the cupboard. She secretly went to pick it up, but the killer was hiding in the cupboard. Seeing this, Elle gets scared and he attacks her. Jay starts fighting with him alone, but the killer overpowers him and picks him up and hits him against the wall. Now he takes out his knife to finish him, but then Elle hits him with a lamp on his head. Taking the opportunity, both of them run out and lock the killer in the room. They were just taking a sigh of relief when the killer inserts the knife inside the door. Now both of them run away from the house and come straight to the street. They were thinking of running away in a taxi when the killer kills the taxi driver and now takes out his sword to kill both of them. Ellie angrily says, "Hey brother, you have some misunderstanding. We are not couples. Leave us." Jay started calling the police from behind. But the killer sees him and immediately blows up his phone. Now both of them start running from there, but they see that the way ahead was closed and then the killer catches Ellie. Jay again went to save Ellie but got beaten by the killer and fainted. Seeing this, Ellie starts running and the killer leaves Jay and goes after Ellie. Ellie runs and hides in the big swing. For some time she comes out and sees that the killer is sitting outside and swinging the swing. She hides again, and this time when she looks, the killer was not there, and now he turns on her swing too and starts swinging her with full speed. Then suddenly he stops the swing, due to which Ellie falls down. She had not even recovered properly when the killer attacks her. But she narrowly escapes and kicks the killer and starts running. But after going a little further, she falls. Then the killer comes to kill her. But seeing the police coming there, he leaves her and runs away, and the police saves Ellie. But then she comes to know a very strange thing, that the police caught Jay. They were thinking him to be the killer. Ellie says, "How can this happen? He was with me." Then Ellie goes to talk to Jay. But he gets angry at her, that "I thought we were a team. It is a matter of great regret. But you left me alone and ran away." Ellie says, "What could the mirror do? Killer was after me." Then she asks the officer that how can you say that he is the killer? On which they show her that we found a weapon and a mask with Jay. Ellie says Jay because the killer is someone else, but those people do not listen to her and take Jay away. During interrogation, they show Jay the same JS ring which was found from the crime scene and ask Jay, "Is this yours? 'Cause your full name is also Jay Simon." Jay clearly refuses to this, saying, "How can it be mine? I am still single." But the detectives still question him. They say that Jay's locations match with all the places where the killer has committed murders. To this Jay says, "I am a failed answer. I keep going here and there for work. This is just a coincidence and I am innocent." But the detectives are not convinced by his words. Meanwhile, Ellie also reaches the police station. She says Jay is innocent and asks to let him go. But no one takes any interest in her words. But a boy, David, definitely takes interest in Ellie. He offers her coffee and asks her to go on a date. But Ellie refuses, saying, "No thanks. I have just escaped death in this affair." Now David says that it is okay, we are happy that the killer Hard Ice has been caught. Now the female officer comes out and asks Ellie, "Tell me, when you guys are single, then why is the killer after you?" Ellie tells her that she hugged Jay to tease her ex and maybe the killer saw all that and he thinks that we are a couple, but we are not. Then suddenly the light goes off, but the female officer turns on the torch and sends another officer to check the main power line. Ellie also goes after him, but the killer had already reached there. He kills that policeman. Seeing this, Ellie goes to get the torch. But before that, the killer picks up the torch and turns it off and starts searching for Ellie by turning on the night vision of his flesh-hard eyes. But she was no less. She cleverly attacks the killer and runs away from there. On the way, she is hit by a policeman. A female officer is found. Ellie tells him that the killer is behind her. Then the killer also goes there, and on seeing him, Ellie runs away, but the officer is left alone. On the other side, Jay and the detective hear the sound of a gun. Along with that, the female officer screams, on which the detective goes to save her, but the killer suddenly comes in front of him and attacks him. He stabs him in the legs and cuts them in the middle, and the detective dies a very horrible death. Then the killer comes to kill Jay. Jay could not even run away suddenly. He is handcuffed. But despite this, he is escaping the killer's attacks. Then luckily Ellie comes from the other side firing bullets, and the killer has to run away from there. Now Ellie helps Jay to open the handcuffs and both of them start running from there. They reach a parking area, which is a couple's place where many couples are watching a movie sitting in a car. Killer was also roaming here. He sees that there is a lot of couples here. That means only prey. Everyone else was not afraid of the people because they thought that he was a masked fan. Then while walking, he stabs a man and says, "Take it, brother, happy Valentine's Day." Jay and Eli are still running. Then they see a big white van in which both of them hide. But inside there was a couple who were talking. Jay and Eli stop them that please don't get carried away, the killer will come. But both were fully drunk. They don't understand anything. And then the killer comes here and catches that boy and inserts the sword in his mouth. Then he catches his friend and forcefully inserts the sword in his mouth, and both of them die a horrible death, and now the game of death begins. Killer starts killing everyone one by one, and there is chaos in the whole area. Everyone starts running here and there to save their lives. Jay and Eli, standing far away, were watching all this. Eli says that a lot has gone wrong. We have brought this death here and now we have to take it away from here. And now both of them together make a plan to deal with hard ice. Jay signals him from a distance and says if you have the courage then come here. So now hard ice leaves everyone else and goes after those two. G says how will we fight? We don't even have any weapon. Eli shows her metal straw. G says oh friend this won't work. We will have to think of something else. Then both of them remember the sword which was stuck in the man's mouth. They together take out that sword and in the meantime the killer also comes. Jay fights with the same sword but the killer takes the sword off his hand and knocks Jay down and hits him again and again. Then in the end he is about to kill Jay with his knife. But then Eli comes from behind and attacks the killer with a heavy thing, due to which his head gets cracked and blood starts flowing rapidly. His knife also fell from his hand. But still he catches Eli. Seeing Ellie in trouble, Jay picks up the killer's knife and pierces his back through it, due to which the killer dies on the spot. Both of them take off his mask and start looking at him. They wonder who he was and why he was killing everyone. Police praises them both for killing the killer and says that both of you should become famous now. You have ended the destruction caused by the hard ice killer. Then a female officer comes here who talks about giving a lift to Jay. Seems as if she wants to make a relationship with him, due to which Ellie is feeling jealous. Jay tells her that he has to go to the airport. He will call a car, no problem. So she started forcing him. She says that it's okay, I will leave you. So now Jem says goodbye to Ellie for the last time. Ellie says okay go, your friend is waiting for you. Jay says she is not my friend and now he leaves for the airport with her and Ellie also comes to her home but she was missing Jay a lot. She realizes that she has fallen in love with Jay. She was regretting why she let Jay go. She calls her friend and tells her everything. Her friend says that he is a good person. Before his flight leaves, you go to the airport and tell him what is in your heart. So now Ellie runs towards the airport and starts looking for Jay. But then she gets a call which is from the hard eyes killer. Ellie picks up the call and gets shocked as soon as she hears the voice. She says how can this happen? You were already dead, right? He says don't use your brain. If you want your Jay to be safe, then come to the location mentioned. When she reaches the location, she sees that Hard Eyes has held Jay captive. So now the whole story comes out here and it is revealed that the real Hard Eyes killer is named David. He is the same boy who talked to Eli in the police station. What is even more shocking is that there are not one but two killers. One is David and the other is his wife who is none other than a female officer who kidnapped Jay on the pretext of giving him a lift and brought him here. Eli asks why you guys are doing all this. To which they say that we enjoy killing couples. Gives a lot of peace. And as for that old killer, he was just one of our fans who was crazy like us and hence was killing everyone. Then they tell that when we saw you both hugging each other, we thought that now you are our target. The one who came out of the cupboard and attacked was my wife, i.e. the officer. The one who killed the driver was David. David attacked in the police station and his wife deliberately made it look like she was in trouble, and when the detective came to save her, David killed her and the ring that was found was my wife's because its full name forms JS. Well, both of them give an option to Ellie that if she really loves Jay, then she should shoot herself with a gun to save him, and if she doesn't, then she should shoot Jay. Then both of us will leave you. She chooses her love Jay and puts the gun on her forehead and confesses to him that I love you very much and I am giving my life for you. Jay stops her but Ellie doesn't listen and says I am sorry, and then she shoots Jay. Now Ellie did this because both of them were playing a game with them. Anyway, they had to kill both of them. But Ellie intentionally shot Jay on the shoulder which touched him and hit David's wife, and David had no idea about this. He was laughing. Then when he saw him falling, he realized and started looking at his wife and getting the chance. Jay and Ellie started running but couldn't run very far. David catches hold of Jay and his wife also regains her composure and catches hold of Elle, and both of them are about to kill them together. But then Jay cleverly takes out an arrow from David's pocket and stabs him in the head. The arrow passes through his eye and comes out of his nose, due to which he falls down amidst the candles. Elle also inserts a metal straw in his wife's throat, and now Elle is extremely angry. She pushes his wife into the statue wall in front, which goes through her throat. She was at a height, so the lower part of her body gets separated and falls. Through this, David starts dragging himself towards them with a burning candle. Then Jay attacks him with his crossbow and finally kills him too. Through everything ends, we see the time after 1 year. where the love ad made by Ellie Jay is liked a lot and they get a lot of praise. Ellie decides to leave her company and go back to the medical line. Then she goes on a date with Jay and proposes to him. Jay happily agrees to marry her and the film ends with their story. Thanks for watching. Don't miss to like and subscribe.